I won't lie. There was a time that I thought that I should be ashamed of myself for being an Uber and Lyft driver at this stage of my life, but I'm not. I'm not ashamed at all. And as much as I talk shit about particularly Uber, who started it all, because let's be real, Lyft came much later. As much shit as I talk about Uber, it's technology. It is technology. It's allowed me to be self-employed for over 7 years of my life. Almost as long as I've been on YouTube, I've been doing Uber and Lyft. I started YouTube first. Probably a year or two before I became an Uber and Lyft driver, but it's been the most consistent thing in my life as far as bringing income when I was full-time. Because there was a point where I was, before we got upfront rides, there was a point where I was literally driving all over Connecticut. I almost got into 2 major accidents that would have been my fault. I'm not gonna lie to you, because there's parts of Connecticut I never experienced until I became a full-time driver. There's parts of Connecticut I probably would have never seen in my life, you guys. I probably never would have experienced in my life, my home state, had I not became an Uber driver. And then a year later, a Lyft driver. So I can't say that Uber hasn't had a positive effect on me that way, because even though it's an independent contractor, you were a business owner. You are a business owner. And that introduction to being a business owner also taught me some stuff along the way. Now, fast forward, I do understand the more importance of being set up the right way as a real business. That's why I started the Family LLC Club. And I'm not trying to put any pressure on anybody to buy, but I will say this. Another reason why I'm not worried is I've set up a whole plan. I have a plan. You know, did the plan take longer than I expected? Yes. Like anything in life. But at least I have a plan. And I have the proof. You could literally Google my name, William Blandon, or William Bootsy Blandon, and you'll see that I was working that entire year on building a brand. Entire year, forget it. I'm talking like 8 years, 8, maybe 9 years, slowly building the brand. So even back, as far back as then, I knew that this would help me one day. I knew having the channels this long, having this much video proof would help me in the future. And for a long time, I was just talking concepts, but now it's proven. I have proven structure. I set up a new LLC. If you guys are interested in what I'm doing on that, you can just go to williamblandon.com, or there'll be a link somewhere. YouTube like to hide it. But as far as rideshare, yeah, I'm probably gonna continue driving until I don't need it anymore. And yes, I'm only part-time now, so it's nothing really to brag about. I'm not putting in no serious hours. Because honestly, if I put in serious hours, I would make more money. But the problem I have with rideshare now is they want you to go a lot further for less money than you did just last year. And I find if you cherry pick and stay local, you tend to make your daily quota, whatever that is, and use less gas. And we all know why the gas is high right now, because of the continued war that's going on right now in the world. But I knew as far back as just starting to drive that I had to at least build a brand because it would help me later. I wish I would have just started what I call the family LLC back then, which is set up an LLC, put my Uber and Lyft money directly into that business, because I would have qualified for so much business credit now. Fast forward. But I do have a plan. I have a structured plan to get out. Like I said, I think 2026 is it for me. I think, honestly, if I'm still driving, which is possible, I don't believe that it'll be for the apps. I do picture myself doing a delivery style business, because I'll have the corporate credit to back me up to purchase a bigger vehicle. Like I'm thinking of my dream vehicle, and it might not sound big to you guys, but my dream vehicle, just because of the versatility, would probably be Toyota Highlander. You know, it's not the biggest as far as cargo, but it's big enough that you could put some stuff, store some stuff in the very rear of the vehicle. It's versatile for doing deliveries. It's versatile. It's versatile if I want to do rideshare. And then maybe as a secondary, I probably would go, I don't know if I'd go fully electric. I don't know if I would go that far. I do see myself getting a hybrid, even a Highlander. If I can get a hybrid version of the Highlander, I'll go that route. But I do feel maybe get something a little smaller. Maybe a Lexus. A Lexus. So I'm still in the Toyota family. A nice Lexus for casual use when I want to impress people for the business side of things. But a Toyota Highlander for the everyday, what's making money. And they could both be into the business now, you know, because I'm official as far as being a real legal entity. I have a real business bank account now. I show that in the channel, Relay. Right now it's just consulting, but now with the Family LLC Club, hopefully we'll have some members get into that, and that'll be some steady revenue. I'm still doing a room rental hack, so I got income coming in that way. I'm still doing affiliate marketing, you know, it's trickles here and there, you know. The key is to really ramp up the affiliate marketing and do a membership for everything. I think courses are dead, because this is a lifelong journey I'm showing you guys. You'll actually see me the last day I actually do rideshare officially. It'll probably be a video on this channel, you know. And I like the concept of possibly doing renting vehicles to Uber and Lyft drivers, because all the programs out there, if you notice, are failing. They had a thing called Hire Car. I think they went bankrupt. So instead of using a middleman like Toro or Hire Car, I could get a couple vehicles using business credit easily and rent those out, 2 or 3 cars, you know, and just keep one car for my own personal use. You know what I mean? That could be easily done in the whole plan that we have in the family LLC club. So if you want to know more about that, you got to get in. It's only $27 a month. Very affordable. But I think the reason why courses are dead is because, I don't know, it's just different time. And I think memberships work better because this is a lifelong journey you're watching me go on. So an ongoing membership with PDFs and other stuff you could download is better than just a course, in my opinion. So that's what we're going to be talking about. We're going to be building on that. But rideshare, let's talk about current rideshare. Uber, I noticed once you get over 25% acceptance rates, the rides do get a little better. The algorithm does purposely, and I think that was their whole goal, reward you when you hit the 25%. But you go plummet right back down because as soon as you get comfortable, what happens? They start trying to send you long rides for no money. The shared rides slowed down. The minute I hit 25% acceptance rate, I got a lot less shared rides. So they do have a way to control that within their side. But again, as soon as I get like a little bit scaling past the 25%, I think I hit like 27%, and then the bullshit happens. So it's a game with these apps, you know. I like to stay local with rideshare. So Lyft always gives me better paying rides. Always. The problem is with Lyft, like one day I made like $40 and then they just completely stopped sending me any orders at all. You know, and Uber's always gonna send you, this is why I say Uber technically is the better app. I don't like Uber, but technically Uber will give you way more offers. They're just gonna be shitty. And so you're probably gonna get like 85% of shit. And then the rest, if you cherry pick right, you could probably easily make $100 in a couple hours. But if you're not good at cherry picking, that $100 is only like $40, $50. See what I'm saying? So you have to like learn the game with these apps. And it's like, that's wearing me down. The game of it. It's wearing me down to the point where I don't want to play anymore. And like I'm out here today, I could be driving right now, but I'm doing a video because I don't want to rush to play this game, but I know I'm going to cherry pick. I'm probably going to make my $100 and just go home. You know, maybe 120, whatever. But there was a time I used to come out, I think literally just last year, like 4 hours, get that $100, but in less time. That's where the apps are getting you now. They're eating away your time. But I still say it's a great side hustle. And this is no disrespect, because every time I say something about full-time drivers, you get one in the comments trying to act like I'm hating. I was a full-time driver. I'm not hating. I'm just saying this ain't the best full-time option. Unless, there's an unless. Unless you have a plan. And this is my biggest example, because this is what we're going to be talking about in the Family LLC Club. Now, if you have a plan, rideshare, food delivery, this stuff could get you out of poverty. Listen to this plan. Literally, let's use somebody like me as an example. You don't have to kill yourself. You can come out here 4 or 5 hours a day, make $100 to $150 a day, and your wife could go out and do Walmart, whatever you call it, Walmart Spark, maybe DoorDash. She could bring in another $100, maybe $150 a day. You guys could even eat lunch together. You can meet up in between. That is the convenience of apps. You can manage your time. So you guys can meet up for lunch, chill, have a good time, go back to work 3 hours in the morning, say. That's how I used to do it. 3 hours in the morning, you guys meet up for lunch, and then you work another 3 hours in the afternoon. You go home and you still have a life. And you guys put that money together, you have it go directly into your LLC, and you pay yourselves as employee, leaving a 10 to 20% margin in there to function the business and to cover taxes or whatever. You're going to have so many tax advantages that you might as well say you're not paying taxes. Well, you get the right people. You're not really going to pay taxes. You know, this is just my experience. I'm not an expert. Disclaimer. But if you do it right, you'll have tax advantages. You'll have business credit, which is what we're talking about in the Family LLC Club. Slowly, that business credit that you guarantee will turn into corporate credit. You no longer have to guarantee because your company is over 3 years old. You both fixed your personal credit. You went back, you took some of the business money, fixed your own personal credit. Now you both are in like the 7+ area with your personal. So you're able to guarantee anything you need for the business. You're driving cars that are owned by your LLC or a subdivision of that LLC to protect your family LLC. So you can have a company underneath that owns your vehicles. And because you have so much corporate credit, you can enlist one of your kids that say may drive. You could actually hire somebody, another driver. You can start getting the deliveries, medical deliveries. So you see how the Family LLC could turn into something more from rideshare apps, from gig apps. Nobody's really talking about this. They're talking about you going private. You know, that's all they talk about, you going private. And there's nothing wrong with that if you want to be in the limousine type of stuff. I'm thinking more courier than limousine. So I'm thinking basically you can have a courier business directly your Family LLC or underneath it. Build business credit, build corporate credit. It won't be trucking, so it won't be as high risk as trucking. You could put it under the NAICS code. You could put it under taxi and delivery. The banks will still let you open an account. You won't get as much corporate credit or business credit unless you do a low risk entity, and we're talking about that in the Family LLC Club. So there's a lot of ways that gig economy could get you out of poverty if you have a plan. But just blindly driving, and I'm not going to act like I'm perfect because I did it wrong for what, 7 years? 7 years. Now I no longer see a need to necessarily have Uber or Lyft go right into my company, so I'm not breaking the rules because I have an AI marketing agency. But there's nothing stopping me from buying a vehicle under my agency and renting or leasing it to somebody that's doing Uber or Lyft. Nothing wrong with that. I could easily rent my vehicles out, 3 or 4 vehicles out, and make easy probably $300 to $400 a day. That's 6 figures going into your business account. Bam, 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 bam. Have them pay it through a payment portal, so like PayPal or Stripe, so you could borrow on that activity later. You want that funnel through like your Stripe, so if you ever in an emergency need a Stripe loan, you have that ability to do that. Even PayPal, they're high interest loans, so I wouldn't do it unless it's an emergency. But if you're probably going to use Stripe anyway, Stripe will give you that loan if you ever need it. I'm still working on my situation with Stripe because I opened a new Stripe account for my brand new company. I had one for my older company, and that's just strictly for the family LLC club. I might do maybe like higher tier program later, but right now it's just a family LLC club. You go to williamblandon.com to check that out. But I'm building an AI marketing agency too, so I'm in a hot niche. It's not going to be on the Nice Guy Driver channel, but it'll be on probably Chania Business. And it'll probably be in the family LLC club as well, because I repurpose and repackage all my stuff and use it again. Makes sense. Now, I've been doing so much long form content lately that I can make enough short form videos right now to go the rest of the year. And I could post twice a day for the rest of the year. That's how much short form content I got. I just use Opus clips, cut up longer form videos like this, make the short form videos. So you see, any plan you do right now, you could go strictly private, get your LLC, go private, still a family LLC, still build business credit, still will. I'm just thinking low risk, you get the maximum amount of credit. But there's nothing wrong with you just strictly going private. I got rid of my under the table people that I was going to use to go private. But I'll tell you what I would do if I were to go private, just strictly focusing on doing rides. I'll tell you what I would do, and I could still do that if I wanted to. But I got rid of the few I had. I might have had like 5 total, and they were only calling me inconvenient times when Uber and Lyft was super, super slow. So when it was busy and I wanted them to call me, they didn't call me. When Uber and Lyft was busy, I'm saying, I didn't want them to be calling me, but they waited till the worst times to call me. I was giving everybody such a low discount, it's not feasible now with the gas prices. I would have to raise their prices, and they don't want to be paying more because the apps are charging them more. But let's say Uber might be charging you 15 and I want to charge you 12. They want you to charge only 10. You see what I'm saying? So it wasn't worth it in my opinion. And there's so much I don't mind setting up a private rides company, but I don't want to be the one driving. Let's just say it like that. I don't think there's anything wrong with it. I just no longer want to be driving full time. You got to go to New York. If you're in a business, I think you got to go to New York. But here's what you could do with the family LLC. make a lot of money using Uber and Lyft too. Simply do something I hate doing. You got to get your dash cam. You should have a vehicle like an SUV or something with the spotlight so you can see the apartments and stuff at night. Get fully set up right, licensed, everything. You know, you go to strip clubs, great locations, strip spots. These bars that be jumping. You pick up drunk people, pick them up, drop them off, pick them up, drop them off. You will make probably easily, just in my area, within the vicinity of these 3 towns around me, I can make $300 a night. Nothing crazy. Like probably 8 hours. In between, you could do Uber and Lyft. But the big money will be picking up those drunk people. But you got to deal with the drama. You got to deal with the cleanup. You got to deal with the people touching you. Old women hitting on you. It's never the ones you want. It's always somebody you don't want hitting on you. You could make some good money as a private driver at night. And I know this. I have trouble seeing at night. I got dark windows. But is it totally crazy for me not to think about it? I thought about it. I really thought about it. I thought about when I moved on my own, because I wouldn't want to do it now because I'm coming into 2 roommates. But when I think about it now, if I got a place to myself, because everything's changing this year, but if I got a place to myself, I can have a good sleep schedule because there's nobody else in the house waking me up, banging things around. Drive at night. And I know me, I won't drive like 8 hours, but I might do like 4 to 5. Drive at night, make easily $200 to $300. Not even just including Uber and Lyft. What you make on Uber and Lyft would be like extra, you know. You're getting cash. You might have to keep a little bit of cash on you, but you're going to be fighting with people. You got to deal with the drunks. You got to deal with the cleanup, because Uber and Lyft don't want to pay anything for cleanup anymore. So, and it becomes a bigger problem than it's worth for some people, you know. But if you could tolerate it, you can have easily a 6-figure company just going private with a family LLC. If you follow the way we're doing it, you're going to have a low-risk name regardless. And it could work. It could work. You could literally just do deliveries. You could just be a courier. And I know it could work probably better, in my opinion. Becoming a courier, which is probably the route I would rather go. I would rather be a courier, because there's real companies other than Uber and Lyft that could pay your company, and it looks better going into your accounts because it's not just Uber or Lyft, you know. And you'll probably have to wait longer for your money. It won't be instant like Uber and Lyft. These companies pay, you know, probably every week, but that's the worst. You have to wait longer for your money. But I'm more focused right now on what I'm doing in the family LLC, because right now I'm looking at grants. And let me tell you guys, if I get the right grant, all my problems are solved for the next year. Get in the family LLC if you want to know what we're talking about. WilliamBlanning.com. Check the links below, wherever. But all I'm saying is there's a future for you if you use Gig economy, rideshare, the right way. The right way. I don't see nothing wrong with using the apps and building out something for your future. But keep in mind, if you get in transportation, the AI is going to be, I'll go more to the delivery side because there's less competition with AI, but ride shares, our time's almost up, for the human driver. So, but I think there's still opportunity for a courier company. I would get out of it all the way together like I am, and the most I might really prefer to do in transportation would just be maybe rent some cars out, and I got to deal with, tracking them and keeping the maintenance up. But it's not bad if you're only doing like 2 to 3 cars. I think once you get a total fleet, it becomes way too complicated. But if you got 3 good Uber drivers, responsible Uber drivers, which I think it's possible to get 3 responsible Uber drivers. You rent your vehicles to. You charge them weekly. Charge them $500 weekly. Let them keep the vehicles. You let them know they're responsible for the tires and the wheels, whatever. But you'll cover any major problems. But they got to keep the oil change, the basics. You charge them $500 a week. 3 drivers. That's steady revenue going in to your business. That will help you qualify for more business credit, more corporate credit, to maybe go do something totally different like real estate. That's what we're going to be talking about in the Family LLC Club. I hope to see you there. Subscribe, like, comment, click that bell icon, and I'm going to see you guys in the next one. Thank you.